Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you stay for giving me opportunity to talk about Indonesian experience in continuing education for children with special needs amidst COVID-19. My presentation scope will be general background, special education policy in general, special education in the COVID crisis, learning activities in new normal, and the challenges and the way forward. First of all, I would like to tell general background of Indonesia. My country has been independent 1775 years ago. Indonesia is the biggest archipelago with more than 17,000 islands. We have 1.9 million square area spread from Sabang city in the most west and Merauke city in the most east. Administratively, Indonesia is divided into 514 districts and 34 provinces. The population is about 270 million, with more than 300 ethnics and more than 700 local languages. However, we speak Indonesian as the national language. In regard to the special education, there are 2,270 special schools in Indonesia that consists of special primary schools, special junior secondary schools, special senior high schools, as well as special schools that serve from primary to senior high schools. Most of them are private, and the number of special schools increased 10% from 2014 to 2019. However, 60 districts have no special education, both private and public schools. The number of students in special schools is about 144,000 children this year, most of them males. They are 3% blind, 20% deaf, 57% Down syndrome, 12% autism, and 4% others. The Data Statistics Center projected that the total number of people with disability in Indonesia is about 2% of the population. However, the exact number of the people with disability is being surveyed. The education for children with disability is also served inclusively in the regular schools. It has been formally implemented since 2009. There are 29,315 inclusive schools from primary to junior to senior secondary schools that serve for about 105,000 children with special needs. This is the number of schools from 2014 to 2019. This is the number of special schools students from 2014 to 2019. This is the number of inclusive schools that increased huge from 2014 to 2018. And this is the number of students in inclusive schools that fluctuated from 2014 to 2018 and reaching the peak in 2016. Regarding the special education policy in general, every citizen has rights to access education without any discrimination. The children with special needs could access education through special schools or inclusive schools. The special schools serve education from primary to secondary school levels, and some schools serve only primary, junior, or only senior high schools, and some others serve all of this level. The government encourage all special schools to provide education from primary to secondary levels to ensure that all students with disability could access education. Based on the law number 8 year 2016 about disability people, all disabled people have the same rights as others in terms of economic, health, justice, education, politics, and any other aspects. The employment of disabled people should be allocated 2% in the public sectors and 5% in the private sectors. In terms of education, it has been interpreted in the regulation about properly accommodation for students with disability. Starting from this year, our schools in Indonesia should be inclusive. In addition, there should be disabled people serving units in the local governments. These units will provide the children learning profile as consideration for choosing schools for children. However, the guidelines for implementing this rule are ongoing process. In regard to the special education in the COVID-19 crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia has been known since March this year. Therefore, all life activities have been interrupted since then. Referring to the situation, the Minister of Education circulated letter number 2 and number 3 this year in preventing the spreading of COVID-19 in the office as well as in the schools. It's requested that all institutions should provide soap, washing hand facilities, hand sanitizer, and disinfectant. They should apply the social distancing, wear mask wearing, and spreading information about the COVID prevention. All institutions should caution to the students' health and aware about the changes of COVID-19. Before the pandemic, the government changed the final examination procedures through regulation number 43 year 2019. The students' scores for class upgrading as well as for graduation were taken from the final test and the national examination. However, starting from this year, the scores could be taken from the students' daily tests, assignments, or portfolios. The last national examination would be this year, but it has been cancelled due to pandemic. There is new learning paradigm of independent learning introduced by the government. The schools have been given full authority in deciding the graduation criteria for the students. For combating the pandemic, the government released regulation in regard to the education service during the COVID crisis. This list consists of 6 matters in preventing the spreading of COVID. First, the national examination is cancelled. Second, all schools should implement learning from home. Third, the final semester test for upgrading class is not mandatory. However, and the school would implement the test, gathering many children should be avoided. For the upgrading class as well as graduation could be based on the students' scores from daily tests, assignments, or portfolios. Fifth, the recruitment of new students should be done online. Sixth, the schools are allowed to use the budget for preventing the COVID-19 spreading purposes. In regards to the learning activities in new normal, the distance learning, online learning, and learning from home have been implemented since March this year and continued in the following academic year. Some platforms are used by the schools to implement the online learning, include WhatsApp, Google Meet, Zoom, and so on. WhatsApp and Zoom platforms are the most popular for schools. For some reason that no internet connection, lack of technology or the parents, or lack of the teacher skills in using technology, the teachers visit program to the student's house is an option with tight health protocol procedures applied. In terms of curriculum, it has been simplified for the special conditions. The schools could take the national curriculum fully. The simplified curriculum provided by the government, or they could modify the curriculum by themselves. In implementing the learning from home, the government encouraged the internet providers to support free internet for learning. The government also provides the internet quotas for students and teachers to implement online learning activities. The budget sources for the quota are from schools and the national budget. It has been allocated about $620 million in the national budget for it. The quota is delivered through the mobile numbers of parents and teachers that are inputted in the education main data as ruled in the regulation. The development of learning process of learning resources is one of the main purpose of important programs. This COVID spreading prevention program in Indonesia is managed by the COVID task team. The team classifies the impact areas of the COVID into 4 zones: green, yellow, orange, and red. Based on the joint decision of the 4 ministers, the schools that located in green and yellow are allowed to start regular learning activities with tight health protocol procedures applied. The schools in the orange and red zones are restricted to do regular class activities. In regard to the learning from home, there's a general survey on it in March 2020. Based on this survey, about 87% of the regular schools and about 93% of the special schools implement learning from home. The learning from home methods are varied, include video conference, telephone, and interactive communication using social media such as WhatsApp, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and so on. There are some challenges of special education in general, as well as in dealing with COVID-19. Data accuracy of the children with disability is an issue. Most of the local government have no disability people service units. Most of the local governments have no supporting budget for disabled people. There are 60 districts have no special schools. These skills in the students' education and assistance is another issue. The children education needs are varying. Curriculum for special education is designed for children with intellectual disability. Some parents hide disability of their children. The children with disability individually refuse to participate in education. There is lack of technology tools for supporting online learning activities. The other challenge is the teachers' lack of technology skills, and the last challenge is the Indonesian geographic is another challenge. The way forward, there are some actions that should be considered in continuing education for children with special needs. This includes creating the accuracy data of the people with disability. Learning from home, distance, and online learning approaches could be models for the future learning, including learning options for special situations and new normal. Information technology should be integrated in the learning activity. The government should support the teachers in implementing home-based program, especially in the area of with no internet access. The curriculum for special education should be designed flexible for all children with special needs. The government should continue to support the online learning activities. Responsibility should be borne in mind in implementing the policy of independent learning. Online learning sources should be developed as much as possible. Online training for teachers as well as webinar could be considered as models for improving the teacher's competency. To conclude, education is one of the basic rights of every citizen. However, the education service for children with disability are sometimes left behind, even not included in the general issues. The education service should be available for all students, including for children with special needs, in any situation and in any conditions. Thank you and all the best.